So what is up, guys? You got your boy Stingren here today, and today we're back with some sort of Convallaria news here today, and today we're going to be talking about the newest banner that was just revealed via the Facebook and Twitter. And yeah, we're going to be talking about the new characters that's coming out, Nungal and Garcia. Keep in mind, they're not new characters, as in they've never been in sort of Convallaria. These are still launch characters. It's getting a proper banner rate up, similarly to Cole and Barrel. They're already characters that have already existed in the game. They're just now getting proper rate up banners, giving you a higher chance to pull the character if you do want these characters. So let's talk about it, and so on and so forth. So first things first, we're going to talk about is Nungal. Okay, Nungal. This is her CN name. So keep in mind, there isn't any English wiki out there that I have found that has the skills. If anyone has one, let me know in the comment section below so I can use that in the next video. But this is the character right here. This is her art, her 5-star art, and this is her main trait skill, which gives her critical rate plus 15%, gives her damage increase for up to 45%, and she gets an increased move by +1. And when attacking an enemy that's 5 grids away, she can apply a reaction skill to the target, which is pretty good. I mean, I do like the fact that she's built up on crit, because that is going to be the main way you build up Nungal, is by crit, and we're going to talk about why in just a moment. So let's go and talk about her skills. So her main level 1 skills are both pretty good, actually. Concentrate gives her a critical hit 2 if there are no enemies that is 2 squares away from her. So any 2 square, 2 tiles, it just gives her a straight up critical hit 2 bonus, which is great, because again, that's gonna go great already with her main trait skill, which is already giving her more crit rate, which of course you can even further boost up with things like the tarot cards that can also give crit. So there's also a really good option for to take this one. I do think this is the stronger priority overall. Anyway, let's talk about full bow. After releasing the support skill, normal attack increases by 30%, and when the action ends, so energy is restored. I mean, normal attack boost isn't terrible, in my honest opinion. I think it's solid, because that way it can maybe potentially help you get a kill without having to burn a skill, which is good, because that means you get to keep some of your action points. So I do think that that's actually a valuable thing potentially. But again, I do think concentrate is definitely the way better approach, because again, she's going to be a character that you want to build 100% for crit, and then of course any maximized further damage that you can get with any tarot cards, weapon, etc. So let's talk about her next skill, which is this skill, the Deadly Crosshairs, where she prepares for 1 turn, dealing 160% to the damaged enemy, ignoring block, which is pretty good. When attacking an enemy with the Hangman mark, the critical rate is increased by 60%. After the critical hit, the Hangman mark is cleared. So as you can see, the Hangman mark, which is a part of her kind of unique gimmick, again, further boosting her crit to potentially guarantee herself a crit, because if you give her the tarot card, the one that gives you crit, you're basically batting at a 90% crit, which is, I mean, that's essentially a crit. Like 90%. I mean, that's pretty much often chance to crit. This one here is the Sniper Stance, which is a support skill. It gains her Sniper Stance, and then it's going to be changed to Moving Stance, which is just buffs for her. Again, they don't really show it here in skill, which is unfortunate. So level 5 is the high ground advantage. When she's attacked on high ground, when she's attacked on lowland, my bad, she gets damage reduction, and then when she's on lowland, she gets an additional 30% reduction. So I mean, sustainability, not bad. And the skill right here, Sniper's Intuition, reduces range damage by 20%, and when the action starts, if you're in the enemy's threat range, gain move 2 for 1 turn for a cooldown of 3 turns. I think this is really good, because this can help you get out of trouble, especially if you're not really prepared for enemy actions, or you're in a situation where she can maybe get focused down. So maybe you can use that move 2 to an advantage. There's also support skills that we have that can also further boost her move. So it can help. This can really help get her out of a tight situation. So not a bad support skill. I think I would take this one if I were to use it, because I do like the ability to kind of get out of a tight spot, just to have the guaranteed safety. Let's talk about her level 7 skills, which is Sense of Mission. When attacking an enemy with the Hangman passive before attacking, the critical hit rate is increased to 30%, and the critical hit damage is increased by 30%. And when a critical hit is occurred, additional 1 energy is restored. I mean, that says 100% crit. I mean, you have the crit from the Hangman card, which I think is the one that gives you crit, I believe. You have the additional 30% coming off this. You have the Deadly Crosshairs if you were to pick the skill, which is batting at another 60 crit. I mean, that's kind of nice. That's kind of nice. And then we have this next skill, which is called Heavy Arrow. When using the normal attack skill, you can ignore 40% of the target's defense. Now, I'm of like mind that I do love the ability to ignore defense on skills with your basic attack, which is only just a 100% attack, it's just a flat shot. But with all the crit that you can give to Nungal, plus the ability to ignore some defense, she could potentially put some good numbers on her height, on her attack stat, on her normal attack, I should say. So it could be worth for you to actually consider taking it, but I do think Sense of Mission is probably going to be the better one, just so you can pretty much guarantee crit on just about everything. So yeah, I do think that that is pretty solid. But if you want to take both, that isn't a terrible option. But again, be very careful with the material that you use to get those, because they're super rare. And yeah, we're going to talk about the last two here. This one is Marking Bullet, which deals 85% damage, applies move -1, and applies the Hangman mark for 2 turns. So this is where the Hangman mark is coming from, as you can see right there. So pretty good. It comes a little bit late into her kit, only at skill level 9, which is a little unfortunate, but that is what it is. And this one has critical hit strike, which has 100% physical damage, but it has 15% boost in critical damage. Given that she has a big focus on her Hangman mark for the extra effects to kick in, would say Marking Bullet is probably the best one you want to take here. So there's that. Next one is going to be her Eagle Eye skill, which is a support skill. It's instant. Normal attack range increases by 1 square, physical attack increases by 10%, and before attacking gain high ground advantage for 3 turns. I think that's extra damage when you're on the high ground, so that's not a bad skill. And then this one has a fast reload, which restores 3 energy to her. Physical damage type skill cooldown reduced by 1 round, and Deadly Crosshair does not require preparation. So if you do take the Deadly Crosshair skill, which I do think you should take because of the Hangman mark and everything, then this is most definitely the better option you should take, because that means the skill becomes instant, which is good, because that means potentially even if the skill is as decent as it is, enemies can still get out of the range. I mean, they can. I mean, whether or not that's completely up to AI or not, but still. So I do think that fast reload is probably the main support skill that you want to do. This also gives her 3 energy, which means she can potentially go back into using more of her skills quickly, which I do think is definitely better. So if you want my last recommendation, I think Concentrate is good. I think Deadly Crosshairs is good. I think Sniper's Intuition is good. I think Sense of Mission is good. I think Marking Bullet is good, and then I think Fast Reload is going to be the main ones that you take. This is of course looking at the complete end game of her. So if you do have her all the way up to I think it's what rank 11, rank 12, and all that stuff. So there's that. So in my honest opinion, I think Nungal is not a bad character. She's not terrible by any imagination of the word. I think she is going to be a potential useful unit for those of you who are looking for a good ranged unit. So there's that. So I'm going to talk about the next character here, and that is going to be this character right here, which for some reason this page did not want to load for me, which is going to be Garcia. So Garcia is going to be a character here. She's a blue character, which is pretty good. I see myself liking more blue characters than content for some reason, like Cole. So anyway, that might be a reasonable, because I need more blue characters. And I might just start building up some epic blues just so I can kind of build up that range. Anyway, her unique trait is going to be at the start of an action, gain 1 round of spin acceleration up to 9 layers. At 3 layers, critical strike rate is increased by 30%. At 6 layers, critical strike damage is another 30%. And at 9 layers, ignores target's block and ignore 40% of defense at the start of the turn or at the start of the battle, gain 2 layers of spin acceleration. So I mean, that is a pretty powerful skill, being able to give her more crit damage, more crit rate, and ignoring defense. So of course, this is another character that you again want to build crit for. So there's that. Let's go talk about her skills, and let's see. So her first skill is going to be locking, which at the start of the action, she applies physical defense down 2 to the enemy with the highest attack within 6 squares of the range of 1 turn. That's good. That's really good. Being able to cripple down an enemy so you can kind of follow up with more damage for someone else. Pretty good. This one is finding assignment. After actively attacking, the damage received by the player is reduced by 15%. When a critical hit occurs, the damage received is reduced by 25%, which lasts for 1 round. That's pretty good. Out of these two, I think maybe fighting incitement, because in the event that you don't kill, she has sustain built into her then. I mean, she has 25% damage, which she can potentially tank a few attacks for you, which is actually not terrible. That's not a bad thing. So maybe I do think that might potentially be good. I do think the whole crippling effect is pretty good, but I don't know. Let's talk about her next skill. So Hook Lock, which is, it's a debuff that's instant. It selects one enemy within the tower range and applies a reaction skill which lasts for 1 round. And then she has a Taste of Blood, which has the ability to deal instant damage, dispels 3 debuffs so stuff, and gains potential stimulation for 1 round, and it restores 30% of health. I think Hook Lock is probably going to be the better choice here. I think it's better just for the range, and it's better for the debuff effect, which is pretty good. Now let's talk about her level 5, Deadly Harvest reaction, which is important. All enemies within 3 squares of cross range, if they are near death, actively being attacked by a friendly force, will support attack and cause penetration damage equal to 50% of target's lost health, which can be effective up to 1 time per round. And then she has Fight Back, which is a common reaction skill, which basically just has her attack back if she's attacked. I do think that Deadly Harvest is 100% the best option here, because what this does for Garcia is it allows her to kind of have like a group up type of effect, where you can put her next to an enemy, have an enemy hit the enemy for a huge amount of damage, and then she just jumps in and then finishes the enemy off, which can potentially be useful. I do think that's really, really good. So I like it. I like that a lot. Her level 7 skill, which is Spinning Blade. It's an instant attack that selects one enemy within the crush range, pull it close to you, 70% damage, and when a target is defeated, restores 2 energy points that can be restored. I do love the fact that the enemy is brought closer to you, because that could potentially set up another ally being closer to the enemy to get the kill. That's not bad. I kind of like that. And then her level 7 on the right side is Lonely. If she has no allies or friendly troops within two squares of the spell, I couldn't speak for a moment there, she gets attack and defense plus 8% and critical strike rate plus 10%. That's not bad. That's not bad either. I mean, more crit. Again, she is definitely another character built for crit. If you're using her not for the Deadly Harvest effect, I do think Lonely will probably be the better option. You just go Fight Back instead. I think that could technically be the maybe way you go from there. But if you're using the Deadly, you definitely want to just take Spinning Blade instead. I think that's definitely the better way, because what Spinning Blade does on top of the Deadly Harvest, given that it puts someone close to you and an enemy can also chip, then she then follows up. So could be good. But if you're doing a Lonely route, then just take Fight Back, because if an enemy hits you, that means you're still getting some extra damage because you're being attacked. Alright, so next one is going to be Seal Strike, which is it's 100% physical damage and applies X passive skill to enemies in an injured status for 2 turns. I mean, that's not bad. That's a good way to disrupt injured enemies from them to using any skills. Not bad, not bad. And the last one is Painful Cutting. Perform 3 attacks, each dealing 33% damage. When enemies in an injured state, the attack has a 25% critical rate boost. Okay. Painful Cutting, definitely the best option here. I'm a big fan of multi-hitting attacks because they can deal a lot of damage really quickly. So I think that that's pretty good. Alright, here we go. Next one is going to be Secret Executioner. Before attacking, if there are no friendly units within one circle of target, apply Isolate and X Dodge, which means they can't dodge your attack, to target for 2 rounds and can be effective per round at most. Okay. And then this one is going to be Dancing Wind, which is physical damage. And it's a 75% area attack to all enemies within 2 squares of the target. And before attacking, gains critical hit 2 for 2 rounds. If you're going the loner route, I think maybe Secret Executioner could be good. I think that could be good. If you're doing the loner route where you're doing the lonely and then you're doing the fight back and all that stuff, I think that could be the play that you go. But if you're doing it for the whole follow-up thing, to really capitalize on our ability to crit and build in targets, getting them closer, definitely Dancing Wind. I think that's definitely going to be an option here. But again, I do think Garcia is a okay unit as well. Both of them are relatively okay units. They're not broken. They're not devastating or anything like that. But in all intents and purposes, I do think that this banner is probably just more so just a skip banner more than anything. It's because these characters are technically already summonable, so you don't really directly get any benefit out of using currency to do that. So I do think you're just better off using your resources for a better banner. So. And this is going to be my thoughts. I just think you should skip. I think you should just simply go, nah, I'm good. And go on from there. This has been your boy, Stingren. See you guys next time. Peace.